Thank you, please. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. What a day, what a day. Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, Madam Chief Justice, Justices of the Court, honorable members of the House and Senate, fellow executive counselors, formerly, governors, senators, members of Congress, those serving in our armed forces, former governors, I almost forgot. Can't forget Chuck. And most importantly, my fellow citizens of New Hampshire. Thank you for this humbling honor to serve as your governor and to lead this state forward. A very special thank you, if I may, to my family, my kids, my wife, Valerie. My muse, my everything. Thank you. And a very special thank you to both my father and my mom who are here, and my mom especially, who taught us what public service is all about. And finally, I do want to thank God. Someone I often forget sometimes, but who has definitely shown me a path of public service, of gratitude. And I think sometimes we all forget about him sometimes, but he leads a lot of us here. Without a doubt, if you're sitting in this room, you're here because you love the state. You're here for public service. You're here for the right reasons, which is just a really terrific thing. Today it's not about me, right? Let's understand why we are here. It's about us. It's about the we, and how we, as servants, as elected officials, how we are standing here and promising the people of New Hampshire to serve the Constitution of New Hampshire, are promising the people of the state to serve the Constitution of the United States and put everything we have into it. It's the job we asked for. It's the job we have ahead of us. And if done well, we can really do great things for this state. We can't be divisive. I never want to start off on a negative note, but let's just cut right to it. We have a tendency in this body, in this state house, to be divisive, to let politics come in the way, to worry about the next election cycle, right? I mean, the next election cycle is only 2 years away, but that is not what we are here to do. As an elected official, if any of us are here worrying about those next votes, you're here for the wrong reasons. But that's why we have a volunteer legislature. That's why we put our time and our efforts and we tithe ourselves. That's why we're so different than everybody else, and I think we have to remind ourselves of that. And in reminding ourselves of that, I think we remember what's going on the other side of the aisle. Republican, Democrat, we're all here for the right reasons. We all want the best thing for New Hampshire. And if we keep that in mind, if we remember the great things we can do, that keeps us optimistic and positive, energetic. It allows more people to come to the table with better ideas. That's the philosophy we have to bring. And it's not easy given the election cycle we just went through. It was negative, it was ugly. All right, a lot of partisan attacks and the personal attacks. That's yesterday. We are here about today and going forward. And I believe if we put that together, we can do great things. So we have to ask ourselves, and we start off in the very beginning, what are the priorities, right? What are our goals? What is it that we are looking to actually achieve? You got to start with that foundation before you just go running ahead, right? You got to know what path you're going to go down. We have to have broad perspective. Like I said, we all know the election is in 2 years. But we have to change the mindset in this state. We need long-term planning, long-term thinking. When we talk about business, what are we going to do for business? Not 2 and 4 years down the road, but 5, 10, 20, right? We have to think long-term when we're putting these things together so we can lay a foundation that's going to make sense, not for us, right? I don't know about you, but I don't think many of us are doing this for us. We're doing it for our kids. We're doing it for the future. We're doing it to lay a groundwork. So let's keep that in mind as we go forward and lay that foundation. And as governor, you have my word, I will be truthful. I will be honest. I will be sometimes very blunt for those of you who have conversations. I don't think we have time for anything else, right? We'll get right to the point. We'll understand the common ground we can agree on, and we'll understand we might not agree on certain things, and we'll take our time figuring those issues out. Can't get everything you want, can't get everything done in a day, but over time, working together, we can do great things. So what are we looking at, right? Where do I see, and I think where do the people of the state see some of the issues we have to address? We talk about our economy. We have workforce issues. There's no doubt. How are we going to retain a stronger workforce here, retain our young workforce, so we can bring in the new jobs and the new businesses and grow the economy? We know the story of our rising healthcare costs. They're rising at unsustainable rates. We know what's gone on with energy. Our energy costs are some of the highest in the country. So we have to ask ourselves, what are we going to do to make a real difference for the actual ratepayers and the stakeholders? We have a solid education system here. We really do. We've laid a great foundation in education, but I think we need to get not just innovative, but we need to start implementing those innovations we talk about all the time. Let's start implementing them. And let's start going into those communities, listening to the folks out there, finding out what their needs are, and moving that forward. Because, again, if you've heard me say it before, if you don't lay a solid groundwork in education, it's hard to expect anything else to fall into place. So we gotta focus on it. Now, over all of this, these issues we talk about, over all of this is the biggest issue we have. And we know what it is. It's our substance abuse crisis. It infiltrates everything in our society: workforce, education, our daily lives, the costs of lives, tearing family apart. We know the statistics. We know the data. We've studied it to death. It's real. And this is, unfortunately, the type of crisis you don't need to study too hard for. You see it, right? You can literally walk down the street sometimes and see it. Or bump into a neighbor and see how it's devastated their lives, or our lives directly. There's no one in the state that's been untouched by this. So what do we need to do? I believe we need to start at the beginning in terms of our schools. Aggressive prevention programs in our schools that start earlier, that are more aggressive. And I think we need to bring in the parents and the stakeholders into those programs, right? Let's teach the parents, what are the warning signs? What's going on? We know this is not the drug crisis of the 80s and 90s, right? We know we have to be smarter about it. We know it's out there, but we have to educate ourselves, educate our parents. We have a lot of opportunity in the recovery programs. And I think the state has made great leaps and bounds in the last 2 years in where we've gone on rehabilitation. So many folks need our help. So many folks need our resources. And whether it's more beds for women, we know we have recovery centers. We don't have enough beds for women. God bless it, just the other day, about a month ago, we opened the first of its kind. A lot of you know this, the first of its kind out on the seacoast, Hope for Haven Hill. A substance abuse treatment center for pregnant women. There's 8 beds over there. We need 80 more. We really do. And I don't care what your kind of form of rehabilitation is, whether it's public or private, faith-based groups, peer-to-peer counseling programs. There's a different path for everybody, and we need to be open to all the paths. We cannot start excluding folks. We cannot start cutting people out of the mix. We need to put our resources behind our words and take some real action. And finally, on this issue, let me address what I think is one of the most critical points. For all those out there who are putting themselves on the line, day in, day out, their lives on the line, the police officers, the men and women, the firefighters, the first responders that are truly out there, we need to make sure they know that no matter what, we have their back every time. Thank you, guys. Now, the responsibility of government, it does not stop just with those who can't protect themselves on the streets. We have to take it beyond that. We have a responsibility to protect our most vulnerable children in their homes, especially those within our Protective Services Division. Our shortcomings in this area, and there are shortcomings, they're critical, and frankly, they're unacceptable. It's a failure of all of us, and it's a failure of our system. And I call on this legislature, I call on you sitting here to act without delay. Address the increasing caseloads of our social workers. Correct the regulatory framework in our system, and let's make sure these kids are safe. And those kids, as with all the children in New Hampshire, they have to be assured the opportunity to an education that will ensure a long-term path to success. We have to look at opportunity. That's a great word when we talk about anything we do, especially in education. Opportunity for parents to choose the school that their children might attend. Opportunity for teachers for greater flexibility in their classrooms so they can devise those individual lesson plans for their kids. Opportunity for employers to engage with us and engage with those schools to create programs so our kids are coming out of high school or the community college or even the four-year schools with certifications and workforce-ready skills on day one. And I do want to take a moment to speak directly to the parents of this great state, to those in our communities, to those where education is such a foundation in their homes. There is nothing we will do, nothing we should be doing, without engaging the communities, engaging the parents, engaging the teachers, being listeners. Sometimes we think we have all the ideas up here in Concord. We got to get out there. We got to talk to folks, find out what they're looking to do. And I don't care where your kid wants to go to school, public, private, charter, homeschool, whatever. It doesn't matter. You, the parent, have the ultimate say where your child will go to school, regardless of income. And as we lay that foundation of quality education, I go back to making sure that our graduates have the ability to swiftly enter the workforce with high-quality jobs and opportunities. You've heard me talk about my commitment to visit 100 companies in 100 days, out of state. Try to entice them in. We're not going to get all 100, but we're going to try. You can't catch any fish if you don't go fishing. I've already met with companies from Canada to China, from Massachusetts to Vermont. We've already sat down and started discussing our issues. We have to continue reducing business taxes. We have to pass a fiscally responsible budget with no sales or income tax. We're going to break down those burdensome regulations, and there's a lot of regulations in this state. There's a lot. For such a small state, it's unbelievable. We're going to break those regulations down and open opportunity for business and housing and growth, because that drives the economy. And here's where I don't mean to spring it. I think I've talked about it before. But later today, I will put a note out, and I'm calling on our commissioners, our executive branch. And we have great people in the executive branch. Let's take a little pause. I'm asking them for a 90-day moratorium on all rules and regulations. Just take a step back and find out what we're doing and why we're doing it. Thank you. We know we have to reduce our student debt, provide more opportunity for kids to take that next step in their education. We have to reduce healthcare costs by increasing competition on the insurance side and providing low-cost alternatives for individuals, whether there's independent groups or otherwise. There's lots of options out there. There's lots of ways we can do this. We're going to give employees, once and for all, the flexibility they deserve in the workforce by passing right to work. And let's tell these companies New Hampshire is open for business. And finally, we have to strengthen our economy by bringing sensible, long-term planning to our energy policy. And I believe for too long, with all our best intentions, I believe we've disregarded our responsibility on lowering energy costs for the individuals, for the businesses. We know it. We see manufacturers leaving this state in part because of the high energy cost, because of, in part, the high cost of doing business. So I'm asking to put everything on the table, whether it's, do we need more natural gas into New England? Sure we do. We know that. But are we going to do it sensibly? Are we going to do it the New Hampshire way? We're not going to let companies come in here and just drop their plans on us any old way. But we have to be at that table. We can't be passive anymore. We have to find the right solutions to get it done and get it done our way. Do we need to look at Northern Pass? You bet we do. 1,100 megawatts of clean, renewable energy? How do we say no to that when we have the highest energy rates in the country? We can help ratepayers. And of course, we have to look at our renewable energy portfolio. I think with renewable energy, as many of you know, I'm an environmental engineer. I worked on these projects in a large part of my career. I think we have an incredible opportunity here just to be smarter, to be better, to be the shining example of developing a renewable energy portfolio that looks at wind and biomass and solar, hydro, geothermal, whatever it is. But you have to design a portfolio and a system that is meant for us, right? You can't, every state's different. Should we have the same solar standards as Arizona? Well, maybe not. Maybe not. So we just have to understand that balance. And I think over the past 20, 30 years, the environmental movement has done a world of good, brought real data to the table so that we can be smarter. We don't have to throw spaghetti at the wall anymore. So that when we're making the choices on our renewable energy portfolio, we're looking at the economic and the environmental impacts. We're not just signing off on everything that comes to our desk. Sometimes if we say no to a project, it isn't to throw the project out. It's to take that money and reinvest it in renewable projects that make sense for us. We can do it. With the brain power in this room, I know we can. It's absolutely imperative. And if we get together, again, we'll lay that foundation. Energy rates, unfortunately, are not going to drop tomorrow. But we have to lay that foundation for 5, 10, 20 years down the road, again, to show the individuals of the state, the families of the state, the businesses of the state, that we're getting the job done. Thank you. So given these priorities, understanding these priorities, we talk about jobs, we talk about our workforce, we talk about the substance abuse crisis, we talk about the environment, we talk about our kids. When we keep all that in mind, there's two words, if there's anything you take out of this speech, and trust me, I'm trying to get along, I don't want to make it too long, but really, if there's anything you take out of it, customer service. Whatever we do, we have to understand it's about the individuals again. It's about the businesses. How are we interacting with them? How are we creating a system that they can interact with? We can have the best programs in the world up in Concord, but if the individuals sitting in their homes, trying to get someone on Medicaid, trying to help a loved one, trying to apply for a grant, trying to bid on a contract with the state, if they can't integrate with us and know those opportunities, we're doing them a disservice. It's customer service for the individuals and what we do and how we do it. And if I may, on that note, let us think, I'm an engineer, right? I'm always trying to kind of reverse engineer things. We can have great systems here, but we have to think differently. If we start with the individual, if we start with the businesses, if we start with the schools, if we start with the kids in the classrooms, don't try to fit them and their needs into the system we've created. Go outside the box. Sometimes we have to work a little harder, re-engineer things. We need to recreate the system that meets their needs, because their needs of today are not the same as their needs of 5 or 10 or 20 years ago. So we have to get aggressive about it. It might take a little extra work. But again, we have the people to do it, and we have to make that commitment to the people in New Hampshire that they'll come first every time. New Hampshire's a great state. It is a great state, and I kind of finish where I started. If you're sitting in this room, you love this state. We share those common values, those common goals. We have different ways of getting there. Let us not let the political attitude of yesterday overcome what we need to do tomorrow. We have to make that commitment. 1.3 million people out there are looking at this chamber right now and saying, are they going to do it differently, or is it going to be the same thing over and over again? Are they going to do it differently and be positive and be open and not just use bipartisanship as a tagline and on a Twitter feed, right? We have to commit ourselves and put action behind those words. Find our common ground. Be energetic. Be optimistic. Be inclusive. Go to the other edge that we're not maybe used to going. I'm going to have my first meeting this afternoon, and I'm going to make sure that first meeting brings in Democrat leadership, as well as Republican leadership too. You guys are invited. But it's important. It's not symbolic. It's real. It's real, and we're going to sit down together and find out what we can do together, what we can accomplish, grab that low-hanging fruit, understand where we may differ, and take the challenges of this state head on. Because if we don't, those are the folks we're letting down. And we can be a shining example to the rest of the country, given our first-in-the-nation primary, given our incredible volunteer legislature. That's a responsibility we cannot forego. I cannot thank you enough for this incredible opportunity. Let's keep New Hampshire moving forward, and let's do it together. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Well, an address that lasted under 20 minutes, Adam. Governor Sununu started talking at 11:58, wraps up his remarks at 12:17, and it does seem apparent that, as we were told coming into this, it was not going to be a scripted speech, and at times there were some taglines in there that were